I'm Lauren.
And I'm Annie.
Welcome to Burp Barf!
In person! Again!
It's
whatever!
It's just as exciting as it was last time. I walked into this house and was like, oh my god, 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 oh my god. Champagne, hugs for your child. Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
I find myself bewildered that people aren't like hugging each other in the grocery store. Or like I feel like I need to go to my neighbor's house and be like, hey, come give me a hug. Like, that's the level I'm at, where I just want to recognize at all times, like, hey, remember that whole year when we couldn't touch people we didn't live with?
Yeah, a brief reminder for anybody who's driving in a minivan with your children, this is not a podcast for you and your family. So stop now, because this notion reminds me of a Mark Riboulet song called Fully Vaccinated, where you're like, we can't just fuck in the streets.
There's a gestation period.
You have to wait.
I know this is weird because you just saw me come out of the vaccination plan. Oh, vaccinated! Oh, vaccinated! Mm-hmm.
I can't get enough of that, and I have to force it down everyone else's throat.
So what better way to follow that little juicy nugget up with than a new Patreon?
Yes, indeed. We'd like to say thank you to Jess Wojtasek, and that is our best guess. But we did look up Polish pronunciation, so we hope we got that right. Thank you so much, and welcome to the Burf Barfers universe. We hope that you never leave. Ever. You must be as weird as us, so we welcome you with open arms.
Also, in this edition of What's in Your Drink...
What's in your drink?
We've got the water drinks.
We do?
Ching. We've got the champagne drinks.
Champagne drinks.
Ching.
And and also an AHA citrus and green tea, caffeine with electrolytes. There's actually no green tea or citrus in here. It's all just poison. Yeah, I looked at the ingredients. It's just strictly poison.
I do think it's funny that we've swapped the caffeine hound seat a little bit. Like, you drink caffeine at 5:30 in the afternoon.
Only to come here, I swear to God, because otherwise I just nap for 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. This is actual wine.
That's grown-up drink.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was worried you might not like it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Where do I put the juice?
You just gotta squeeze a little Mixo into it. What is that stuff that you guys drink?
Oh. Well, I'm going to pretend to be an adult. Even though
not for you.
In the grand scheme of things, the champagne is still, like, not the driest.
No, it's not, but I knew immediately that you wouldn't like it because it does not taste like
jizz. Taste like wine? Let's talk about stuff.
Okay, I've got some stuff. So I just got back from a sort of like Buddhist crunchy wellness retreat, kind of focused on body positivity, but also focused on mindfulness and the mind-body connect. And I originally found this place because I was interested in sort of partner yoga, and they practice something like that there called Brima, which is a cross between like partner yoga and Thai massage. You can do Brima to yourself. And you, I know.
I mean,
you're running, you're giggling. We know that you want to.
You're a full person all by yourself. Of course you can do Brima to yourself.
Exactly. But you can also do partner Brima, which is, I think, the essence of Brima. And the goal of Brima is the mind-body connect. And so I thought this was really cool because I sent Annie a list of the 9 principles of harmony, which are the guiding principles of Brima. And I realized as soon as I sent them that they all worked really well in the realm of adventure and distance racing as a team.
Which is wild.
Here's what's even more wild. I went to the Brima Institute website today, and the workshop they were giving was how can Brima be supportive of friendship? And they were talking about exactly how to use these 9 principles of harmony. You guys are going to think I've gone off the deep end, but really, I was already off the deep end.
They should be in the deep end with us. I mean...
Yeah, absolutely. But some of the things that I really love about Brima are, like, the themes are, you have a body, but you are not your body, and that's really helpful for me to think about. And there are thoughts in your mind, but you are not these thoughts. It's the idea that there is, like, there's an essential you. And all of these thoughts and things that happen to your mind and your body are just things that come and go. But at the very bottom of that is your consciousness, and your consciousness is you. And that's the thing that is watching those things happen. So I wanted to roll through some of the principles of harmony within the concept of Brima.
And don't rush through them. I would like to
Oh, great!
To, like,
then I shan't.
Let's
bathe
bathe in them
because
a
I
little bit.
really love all of them, and I have a couple that I've used for years while running 100-milers. So
let's start the 9 principles of harmony. Ting.
ting. So the first is body comfortable, which is where you're supposed to begin when you come to practice Brima. There is this very big focus on, like, you don't want to be, like, using your musculature too aggressively to do anything. It's all supposed to be sort of, like, fluid and natural. So I think as it relates to adventure racing and distance racing, I think this works because it's like, okay, what if I've got a pebble in my shoe? Let's just stop, take it out now, make sure that we are making the body comfortable for the long haul. There's something wrong with my saddle, I'm going to get off and fix it right now. Make sure body is comfortable so I can do my best work as an athlete. So I think that's how it relates there.
Dig it?
And if you have ideas about this, jump in at any time.
Yes, dear listener. Jump in at any time.
This one makes me giggle. The next one is called No Extra, which I think, Brima has been around since 1980. And it's very new as a yoga. Most yoga is very old. But
What does Brima mean by no extra? I'm curious to hear that.
Brima means, like, we're not adding anything, like, over the top into this situation. Like, if the movement is to swing the arm, we're not going to, like, do it with this wild flourish. Exactly. So I feel like and the time and space that we're using this, like, I kind of giggle because I'm like, just don't be extra. Like, girl, why are you being so extra? Like, I like it because it makes me giggle, but also when it comes to, like, adventure racing, I feel like there are things you could do to, like, just be the crazy guy, like, like, oh, I'm gonna tow my friend for 50 miles.
Get on my back!
Yeah, I'm gonna carry everything, and we've seen people looking, being, and doing big time extra stuff.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna take us on a tangent here a little bit. I heard on a podcast episode from one of the teams that carried a log during the prologue to the Shenandoah Epic Adventure Race.
They contacted us?
No. I heard them on another podcast episode talking about it, and it was actually Team Tiki, who has the 2 black women on the team, and they are racing to raise awareness about maternal mortality rates. So women who perish during childbirth, and they actually had their friend Tiki, who passed away in 2017 while giving birth to her child, and they race for them. So I just want to give a shout out to Team Tiki because I think what they're doing is awesome. It's always awesome to see more women out there.
Absolutely.
And the fact that they owned up to carrying a log during the prologue with their third teammate.
So did they explain why?
They thought that's what they were
supposed
to do.
To build a fire, right?
I was like, I had
that's totally reasonable.
A couple people reached out and were like, we never saw a team carrying a log. And I was like, I swear, we saw teams. And also to Team Tiki, you were not the only team we saw carrying a log.
2 teams together behind you also holding logs.
So you're not, you didn't make a mistake, you're a trendsetter.
Yeah,
so,
people are just like, oh shoot, forgot the log. Yes, get the log.
But I had to go down that tangent because when I heard that on the podcast, it was on the TA1 podcast. It just really made my life. So thanks Team Tiki.
Yeah, wow, I'm so glad that we learned more about that. That makes me very happy. But I don't think that's an example of you guys being extra. I think that's an example of you guys using ingenuity.
Yes.
So the next principle in the philosophy of Brima is firmness and gentleness, which I also like as someone who has a lot of tactile aversions. Like, if you're going to touch me, like, and you're just going to, like, whisper touch my arm, I'm probably going to smack you as hard as I can. So I like this idea that contact... This doesn't really relate to adventure racing, but if you can find a way to link them together, cool, do that. But when you're having someone else give you a Brima treatment, that it's not, they're not squeezing you, but they're also not doing anything too flimsy floppy.
Okay. I was thinking about this idea in context of, like, team dynamics, which is like firmness and gentleness with one another.
I love that.
Because it does need to be both. So, like, Working as a team, and this is one of the great ways adventure racing is so different than ultra running, is the team dynamic comes in so much. So the idea of being firm and gentle with your teammates, because like understanding and knowing what ones need to be like, hey, we have to get our fucking ass up this mountain.
Yes.
But at the same time, if you need to take breaks, we're going to take breaks.
Yes. And for me, from the opposite side of that, it would be like, if I was like, I really think it's this way, and you saying like, thank you, I'm not going to listen to what you have to say at this moment, and we're just going to do my thing. And I'll be like, okay, I hear that. Because we've done that. Mm-hmm. I've been like, I really think it's this, and you've been like, respectfully, I really don't. And the end, because I'm the navigator. And I've been like, cool, I'll just eat some wet M&Ms and we'll go.
The naked white wet M&Ms.
Mostly I just did it to gross you guys out, because after putting them towards my mouth and seeing your horrified faces, I was like, well, I gotta follow through with this. No regrets. The next one is my second favorite, and that is full participation.
Unbridled enthusiasm. That's what I think of.
Yes, I do too. Like, also just agreeing that you're all in. Like, okay, maybe I have some shortcomings, that I have fears, I have insecurities, or maybe I'm tired. Just agreeing to say, like, if I'm going to race, I'm going to put my mind and body into this 100%. I'm going to, it's like, I'm going to do my best. And that's quite a thing to say to yourself. And it's also, like, for me, full participation is racing with integrity. And we've talked about that a lot over the years, is that one of my goals is to be less pitiful. And I feel like through full participation, even if there is pain and discomfort, you can use mindfulness to be like, oh, here it comes. Here comes the pain. I love the way people who practice mindfulness talk about like watching these things as though they're like a person crossing a bridge just on like the horizon of our sight. And so when I see like, oh, here comes cold, or here comes tired, here comes sleepy, here comes hungry, here comes my foot's broken, which is never true.
I mean, you've broken your foot like 8 times now.
I mean, I'm actually, impressive. It does crunch when I walk, but just like being, like using mindfulness to say like, here comes that niggle of a pain, and it's going to be here, and then it's going to go away.
Fear is only a feeling. It cannot hold you back.
I agree with that. The next, I feel like, obvious.
Number 5, for those who are counting.
Number 5 works super well for our purposes, and that is mutual support. So in the context of BREMA, it means that when I am giving you a treatment, and I am manipulating your body in this way, and we are being fully present in the moment, not only, like, I'm not just giving you a treatment, I am also receiving your support by you being a body and a person in the world who is fully mindful of the moment. So if you and I'm touching your body and you are fully present in the moment, I'm receiving something just as juicy and just as real and just as good as you being manipulated by me. Like, I am more alive because you are alive.
I dig it.
Right?
And thinking about like the adventure race context, and like the, you know, this is our podcast. We can talk and do whatever we want, right? I remember my sister when she was going through massage therapy school, and one of her teachers saying that when she would give massages as part of her work, that there was some people that it was like more draining for her to treat versus others. Mm-hmm. And like, that's like not the talking part or anything. That's just, you know, again, this is our podcast, we can talk about. Some people give and take more energy just by interacting with them, whether that's physically, whether that's mentally. So, like, the idea of mutual support and there being, like, you know, is it Einstein's principle, like, no energy is created or destroyed, it just transfers form. So, like, thinking about in an adventure race, like, if I'm struggling to get up a hill and you tow me, that delivers something for both of us.
It does.
It's like you get to provide a thing, I get to benefit from that thing.
And we both get closer to the finish line as a result.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel that very deeply. Also, I've talked about in the past, maybe not on this podcast, but on my relationships and marriage podcast, well, that doesn't exist, that in most relationships there is a pillar and a lean-to, one that leans to the pillar. And I feel like in adventure racing and other long-distance sports that there should be 2 lean-tos, that no one must stand on the deck in the storm and the person below is in the bottom of the boat.
I like how full of metaphors this
this is too many things.
It's good.
But that's just a callback to the previous episode because I felt so bad about not being up on the boat with you. But I feel like that it's going to be easier when it's a 2-man gig because I'm going to be like fully in the moment with you.
Sure.
That, that I'm leaning on you and you are leaning on me, and that is like the most sound structure because just like a tree in the wind, you're right, there's way too many metaphors on here.
This Prosecco's actually pretty good once you get
really
going.
Good. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't taste like
That's
juice.
toast number 4 for those who are counting.
Principle number 6, toast number 4. Mm-hmm. No judgment. And I might as well get this tattooed to my chest. In Brema, and also let me make a very important disclaimer here that I am not an expert on Brema. I'm just a person who's interested in it. So if I'm not getting the essence of Brema right, please go to brema.com, BREEMA.com to find out more about Co-Yoga and Brema because I don't know everything about it. I just know what I like. So no judgment in the context of Brema is that we are not thinking about like what does your body look like and what can it do. We are just thinking we are both conscious beings in bodies, alive together, being present in this moment. And we're not thinking about like, do I think you're a good person? Do I think you're a beautiful person? Do I think that you have a good body or a body that has been injured or has chronic pain? I'm not thinking about any of those things. I'm thinking about how can I make my body and your body comfortable, and how we can support each other. And I'm just not spending any time on assessing the situation from like a thinking brain.
You're just like being and doing.
Being and doing. Being and doing. Being and doing. Yes. Oh, you're feeling me.
No judgment in an adventure race context.
Also important.
Yeah.
Quite obviously important.
Yeah, and I just think so Shenandoah Epic Adventure Race, like, I feel like I experienced like a month worth of stuff. Like, I keep like going back and referencing Shenandoah Adventure Race weekend for so many things. Mm-hmm. Like, thinking about how I'm processing a year of pandemic. Thinking about putting into context my joy and being able to see people person to person after a year of not seeing them. Mm-hmm. Thinking about my own athletic endeavors and accomplishments. Thinking about like, I keep going back to that as like a touchstone because it was such like an intense weekend of lots of things I haven't been able to do for 12
and
plus
you did.
Months.
You did. The Athens women were like, I'm sorry, how did she just jump in and just like just be able to accomplish a 24-hour race?
I just be like scraped off all my skin and set my brain on fire. That's it.
You're like, wow, she's got a deep well.
Yeah, so thinking about no judgment to me is like an acceptance of current state. So thinking about like and because no judgment is against yourself too. Like, it's easy to think about no judgment in the context of towards other people, but just
inward.
Recognizing and acknowledging my current state over the course of Shenandoah was like so important to me and also beneficial. So like thinking about where I was in the middle of that race and thinking about how panicky I felt about not being able to bike at the same level you and Laura were, and going slower as a result of that panic, and then getting towards the end of the race and being like, this is where I am athletically and fitness-wise, and this is what I can give to the team at this point.
And then you went faster.
And then I went faster because I think I was letting go some of the baggage of, like, my expectations of myself or what I felt like I should be able to do versus what I could do. And, like, also just no judgment from an adventure race perspective. It's like, hey, when someone feels like shit during an adventure race, giving someone a harder time because they feel like shit does not move you closer to what you're trying to accomplish.
No.
What you need to approach that as is like, how do we troubleshoot this? How do we make that person more comfortable? How do we come together as a team to make them feel supported? Like, just...
Yeah. I feel like I'm very cognizant of what it feels like to be in the back. Because I watched you from the back of your feet for years and years and years and years.
Because I don't
remember those years? Those whole 5-6 years that I followed your feet?
I don't think I would have ever thought about you having those feelings because
I don't have them with you because, I mean, for some races I have. Honestly, just been like, I'll never be as strong as Annie. But most of the time I've just been like, I latch a carabiner to the back of Annie's back in my mind and I just go, doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. But I've definitely been in races and situations and like even traveling with guys to go mountain biking in like Sedona and just feeling like, here comes the big mouth shame monster ghost who like soars up behind me and who's like, you'll never be as good as them. You'll always be slow and sad and bad. You know, like, and I'm like, shut up, I'm doing fine. I can still see them.
Yes.
Like, shut up, shame monster. I'm fine. But like, it's pervasive and I have to, just like in meditation when you like quietly like let a thought go over and over again, I have to do the same thing every time, like, hello, shame. Goodbye, shame. Like, I have to do it over and over again because like it just... Like, or even following you and Morgan and Pitchell and thinking, I'm the liability, I'm the weakest link, I am just the one who poops and cries.
Oh my god, I had that feeling so much during Shenandoahs. Like, all I do is poop and cry.
No, that's not your
just
role.
Kidding. It's always you. You're always the pooper.
That's true. I will own up to that.
But, like, just having to reflect again and again, like, Lauren and Laura are not mad at me because I'm slow. Lauren and Laura are not mad at me because I'm slow.
Remember when Laura said to you, this was the most fun she's had in an adventure race?
Oh, I do. Because I keep going back to that as a touchstone, too. To just be like,
kiss it, put it back in my pocket.
But, like, it's wild. And, you know, hopefully y'all don't get tired of this. But whatever. Again, it's our podcast. We'll say whatever we want. But, like, I have so many feelings of inadequacy that come from all of these endeavors that we put out.
Which is ridiculous.
Because
it
is ridiculous!
Ridiculous because consider what other people are doing and what other people consider themselves to be incapable of.
Yeah.
So when you go out and you show that you are capable of something and you still are ruminating on these ideas that you're not capable when you have the incredible evidence that you're capable, that you're wildly capable.
Oh, and I would hope that we, in providing this context constantly, it helps encourage those of you who are just starting an endeavor, whatever it may be, whether it's running, orienteering, trail stuff, paddle stuff, adventure racing, whatever, that like those feelings of inadequacy should not be a deterrent because they never go away. No. Because they're just kind of always there.
It is a practice. I was talking to my yoga instructor this week at this retreat, and I was like, my thinking brain knows, like, I bring plenty good to the table. I'm a cool and interesting person, and I am worthy of love and goodness. But then I've got this sneaky little bitch that comes in who's like, you're fat and bad. Eternally bad and fat. Fat, bad! And I'm like, where did you come from, you lousy bitch? And then I was talking to her, and she was like, she said...
Not the little voice.
Yeah, I was talking to her, I was like, what do you mean by that? Because I'm like a little stuck on the fat part.
This music was really good!
Apparently so. But she was like, you should really get your yoga teacher training, because she was like, I feel like the messages that you have about worthiness, she said, you wouldn't believe what people think about themselves. And I didn't want to dominate the conversation because I was there to learn, but I wanted to be like, yeah, I know. I've been in a room with Olympians who said, I'm fat, I'm bad, I'm slow, I'm old, I'll never be as good as I was, or I'll never be as good as so-and-so. And, to be in a room of elite athletes who compete, and win, like, top 4 at the Prefontaine Classic, who are like, fat, bad, sad, bad. Like, they have these voices, and you're like, okay. So those voices are wrong, and they're wrong for everyone.
Yeah.
Because really, those judgments don't make any sense.
They don't!
Because there is no one who is bad or not worthy. It's all about your desire to do a thing. And so this whole, like, you're not good enough or you're not worthy enough is actually, I'll tell you, blanketed across all people, not true. There is no one who is bad or not worthy or not good enough to do any of this stuff or to be loved. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about racing and we're talking about love. That's what we're usually talking about in this podcast, the essence of it. But that's just not true for anyone. I maybe I've said it on this podcast, but I love that Pema Chodron says, like, oh, you're afraid to come to the mat to meditate? Like, are you an alcoholic? Are you violent? Are you a total piece of shit? Perfect. Perfect, smelly, dirty, juicy place to start. Come. Perfect. You are perfect too. So, like, whatever attributes you think are making you shitty, like, they're not you. It's all about your decision. It's not about you. You are good today, right now. Exactly right now. It's about the decisions that, like, you're not even your decisions. Your conscious being is who you are. So whatever trappings are clouding you or shame monster is chasing you, like, those do not determine your greatness.
Oh. Also, like, I really like the idea of, like, you know, when I think about, like, body positivity or thinking about, like, conversations we've had with ourselves about, like, tripping ourselves up when we start thinking and saying things like, I will be happy when. I feel like part of that can apply to athletic endeavors or adventure endeavors. I wouldn't even say, like, athletic endeavors. But, like, to say, like, I will try to run a race once I've purchased these shoes, or once I've been able to reach this abstract milestone, or when I have the right teammates, or when I have the whatever. Like, don't let some of those fringe things trip you up. There is a lot of value of just kind of throwing yourself into a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm trying myself to do more of that, to just be like, it doesn't matter if I haven't done 16 weekends of Sugarloaf repeats, I can still try and go do the Berkeley Fall Classic. And one of the things I've been reiterating with Arbor, my 8-year-old daughter, is there is value in doing a thing not well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, despite, like, there's not a threshold you have to reach in order to have value in doing something. So, like, with adventure racing, feeling like, oh, like, how do I become, like, the best that I can be at this? There's value in pursuing a goal, but there is still value in the efforts
in the trying.
Done. In the trying. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Because, God, think of the things that we would not have done if we prepared ourselves for perfection before the attempt.
Yeah.
That's so silly.
You gotta so there's a boat, and there's a tree, and there's a road,
and then you navigate through, and then you become a lotus flower.
Metaphors!
The next philosophy, principle in the philosophy of harmony is single moment / single activity.
So good.
Aren't these juicy? I love them.
They really are.
I mean, they really are essentially all about mindfulness, but just said in different ways. So we are here in the now. We're not thinking about the races we've done. We're not thinking about the races that we're going to do. We're really trying, except for the last half an hour of the race. You're always thinking, fuck, I never want to do this again. How can I cancel that next race?
Which we definitely did.
Yeah, we did do that. But this goal is a good one, which is we are in this single moment doing this single thing. So if we're in the boat, we are in the present moment. We're not thinking about being on the shore. We're thinking about right now. And this is actually going to be I think it's a good coping skill for really long legs in a race. Even in an ultra marathon where you're like mile 80, don't think about mile 81, 82, 83. Be in this single, I mean, it's like, this is like run the mile that you're in.
It makes me think of Ann Trazen talking about, like, one of her strategies was running tree to tree. Like, nothing else.
Wow.
Nothing longer term than that. Just, like, get to the next tree. Get to the next tree. That's it.
I like it. It's very simple, but I think it's very powerful. The next one I've been using for like 7 years now, which is no hurry, no pause. Which is just the best thing that you can say to yourself in an adventure race. Because I feel like no hurry, and also with no extra, we're saying, like, you shouldn't be redlining at any moment in this 24 to 36 hour race. You don't want to gun it at any point, which you're very good about keeping us in check over. And then also no pause where, I mean, this is not entirely possible, but
no dicking around.
Yeah, no dicking around. Yeah, so don't redline and don't dick around. I mean, golly, another thing I could get tattooed to myself.
I heard somebody, and I wish I could remember. I feel like his name was like Yak something when we did our first
sounds
speaking
cool.
engagement.
Oh, yes, Yak with the spiky hair.
Yes,
yes.
and we were talking about, and I think he actually said it was like an army thing or something, which was...
Is he a rucker, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. And so he was saying sometimes slow is fast. And I feel like this is in the same category
I'm
of
so
that.
glad you remembered that.
Yeah.
He was such a cool and positive dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes slow is fast.
And
yeah.
that's true.
Oh my God, it's so true for us because it's like, we're like, well, all the fast mountain bikers, I mean, this is from me. All the fast mountain bike women are here. We'll probably lose. Unless you just move consistently and with strength and effort over a long period of time. No, maybe not, stupid.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on, the story of the tortoise and the hare. We've heard these like
Yeah.
the difference between like blowing it out or just moving consistently throughout the entirety of an event.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And the final one is called No Force, but in my mind, it's called Don't Get Rammy.
Very eloquent.
If you catch your out there pack on a tree and you try to rip it out and then end up falling on your knees in a pile of mud and briars, this could have been avoided by applying too much force. So I just feel like it's not really necessarily about gentleness, but it's about like, don't...
Would you also word it as like, calm your titties?
Yes, I would say it is also very much calm your titties. In the concept of Brima, it's that like if we're bending someone's knee, we're not trying to push it all the way into their chest until the very maximum effort. It's about that body comfortable. It's about this flow, and we would be interrupting the oneness with the moment if we're using force, because we're like, ouch, okay, now my brain's thinking about pain, or now my brain's thinking about doing this the best and the hardest I can do it. Instead of that, it should be about like, how can I make this flow? How can I gain a flow state? Like, how can we both remain in this groove where we're flowing? And I feel like we've achieved that. We're like, you and I think the first time we both did Not Your Mamas together, between mile 30 and 40, before I thought my foot was broken and everything was fucked, you were like, I'm perfect and everything feels good. And I was like, I'm perfect and everything feels good. And you were like, yeah, let's play music. And we were like, yeah. Everything's good. It was just like, we achieved a flow state, and then we got smacked in the face.
Yeah,
but
whatever. God, I love that. So, the 9 principles of harmony.
Yeah.
Body comfortable.
Body comfortable. You want like me to
I was going to alternate. You're messing up the flow.
Oh, okay.
Body comfortable.
Yeah, no extra.
Firmness and gentleness.
Full participation.
Mutual support.
No judgment.
Single moment, single activity.
No hurry, no pause.
And finally,
no force. Okay, we sweaty balls that right up, didn't we? I feel like
I love that.
My natural speaking voice is so harsh. And big ups to the I think, is it Sarah Koenig? No, Sarah Koenig did Serial. Whomever is the woman responsible for doing the new voter fraud.
Oh, the Improvement Association.
Yeah, well, I feel like she's got this really hard thing that she's like almost like Cleveland where I'm from, and it's kind of like a hard A, but a little bit like Chicago too. I don't know where she's from, but I feel like that's almost my habitual graveliness. And I feel like from growing up with my father, I know how to make my voice smooth and clear,
but it's
and
not
enjoyable.
As fun to talk that way.
Fuck no, I can't do that. I want to talk like we're finding stuff that we didn't know about our bodies.
And I'll be honest. My natural propensity is to yell a lot.
I know. I don't know how we have a podcast.
I don't either. Probably not the best mix.
No, I mean,
whatever.
I thought we've definitely blown people's ears out a few times, but they still keep coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to briefly speak of my beautiful Athens women. I feel like there should just be an Athens women segment on the show every time.
Athens women.
I just want to say, you guys make me feel totally supported. I feel mutual support from you. I feel full participation from you. I feel no judgment from you. And I would not say I do not feel hurried, because y'all ripped my tits off.
You're fucking fast.
Holy cow. it's one thing to feel like you're in the best shape of your life, and then to go run with your friends and
Just kidding.
find
You're
out
not.
that their cash pace is your race pace. But, I say, hang out with people who are better than you and it will elevate you. Mm-hmm. I feel like, I was telling Annie earlier that I feel like all my Athens bitches are like all manifestations of different parts of my personality.
I didn't know you were going to share that, but
Oh
I'm
yeah,
glad you
got to. I got to. I just feel like, I don't know. I'll tell you in person what parts of my personality.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that, like, y'all make me feel comfortable, juicy. You make me feel like myself. I can't wait for all of us, including Annie, to hang out together, which we should schedule.
Also, a couple of you said you were going to do an adventure race, so now that we've said on the podcast, you have to do it. That's how it works.
That is how it works.
Once you say something in the podcast, it's just like once you put something on the internet, it's true. Once you put something in the podcast, it has to happen.
Remember, like, 18 months ago when people said that they would pay for me to do a 100-miler?
Yeah.
So when's that going to happen?
Oh, I mean,
We should just do it.
yeah, I'm sure somebody will. Like, we should probably like plan a race calendar right now. Let's talk about schedule of events.
Scheduling.
Let's talk about schedules.
Let's talk about schedules. Let's talk about racing trail. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that make.
be. Let's
talk about race
schedules. Okay, so first up, right? You don't have anything between now and then. Well, I kind of do. So, Northeast Ohio Orienteering is putting on a self-serve orienteering event at Camp Tuscazar. These all feel like made-up words to me right now.
That is
It
word
must be the
salad.
Prosecco.
That is totally word salad.
So at Camp Tuscazar, which is northeast of Columbus, they are setting up an orienteering course that you can go and do at any time that's up between May 8th and May 16th. So anybody who's been thinking about doing orienteering and trying their hand at using a map and compass, this is a great option because you can go when no one else is there and do it at your own pace. And
then all the checkpoints just suddenly explode and disappear and disintegrate into the air after that date.
Yep.
They self-destruct.
Absolutely, May 16th. They actually
It's like a 90s cartoon.
A lotus flower firework, actually.
Oh.
But anyways, I plan on doing that this weekend after we do our own Sugarloaf Teat Reaper effort.
yes, we are, bitches.
Oh.
At the speed of nothing.
We got to do our own race, of course. But we'll keep
How
ourselves...
else can we wear the t-shirt?
We'll keep ourselves in check so that we don't,
We don't want to beat you with our massive strength.
That's why I'm slow, not because my fitness blows.
Your fitness does not blow.
So we have a couple informal efforts, but our next for real race for both of us is the Two Rivers Adventure Race in Pennsylvania. Philadelphia is not a state.
Nope, Philadelphia is not a state.
Put on by Rootstock Racing, which
we just love
Abby-
the stuffing out of them.
Abby Purkis, I love you.
I also love you. I am not ashamed to say it here and now. Let the world know.
I have like a big lady crush on Abby Purkis.
We're trying on all of the podcast voices today.
Abby Perkins, because she's just a leader in so many ways, and just she's also getting ready to go crush Expedition Oregon with the Rootstock team next week, which we may try and have her on the podcast after that because I would love to talk to her about an expedition race. And it's essentially the hardest expedition race in the U.S. Anyways,
I'm cool with that.
So that's our first race on Memorial Day weekend, over your birthday weekend, which I just feel like I have to say, like, thank you for your sacrifice.
You're welcome.
Birthdays are a big fucking deal around here, so the fact that
That is not my problem with it, as it turns out.
It's just that it's 36 hours.
It's that it's 36 hours.
Can I tell you something? I was on a training run/walk yesterday, and I was thinking, you know how juicy it's going to be for me to get to be the person who says, why don't we sleep now?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
You're not going to allow it. I know you're
not. No, I'm not.
I know, but I get to have the juiciness of saying it.
Well, it depends. If I feel totally blown out and military gum doesn't work, which it does,
yeah,
then we'll lay in a ditch and spoon.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, you didn't coast your shin into it, because I know, like, just because somebody has an easier time than you does not mean that they had an easy time, but you had no shitty sleepy moments.
Oh, no. I had
Not even
45
close,
minutes
right?
where I was like, blink, 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 and Laura was like, no one's talked, and I was like, pop. Actually, I was trying to stave it off. I was like, wait for the gum, and then Laura took it, and she started talking, and I was like, I want to talk too. So I ate the gum, and I was like, anyway.
Yes. But it was pretty short-lived. I think that's
It was like 45 minutes.
You were like the least pitiful I think I've seen you in any race.
That's because I have the gum.
You say that, but I think it's just you as a whole person and your current status.
It's the gum.
Okay.
And then the directly week following, you have another race with your family.
2 weekends after that.
Okay, good, because I just realized that's my birthday.
Yes.
Celebration.
So the weekend after
Don't be a
the
bitch.
Two Rivers Adventure Race is actually the No Sleep Adventure Race, which unfortunately we can't do because we have to have a whole weekend of celebrating Lauren's birthday.
It's really the
Let's be
only
real.
reason why we're not doing No
For
Sleep.
real.
We would be at No Sleep in a heartbeat. I love I'm wearing a No Sleep button on my jacket. That's my commitment to No Sleep. It's on my car. Now, okay, now I'm rethinking the entire thing.
Wait,
what
you can't put that on
state-
the podcast
what state
like
is it
that.
in?
Indiana.
But I have a birthday party on Friday night.
I know. You can't do both. I know.
Okay, let's talk about it on
let's
our
talk
own good
about
time.
Something else.
Okay, so then you have on the 12th, you have your family.
5-hour adventure race in Michigan, which
Dope.
I'm so stoked about because this will be me and my family's first adventure race. And, like, you know, as long as I can keep up with Arbor, it should be okay.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
And then that same weekend, I'm racing Laurel Highlands,
Yes.
which I think I'm stoked for. I've never seen the course. People say it's great.
Will it be hot?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
And then what else do you have on the 19th? Anything?
Nothing yet.
And then I am going to San Diego for funsies.
Okay.
And July.
So consider 4th of July.
Oh, I was gonna say we have got to do our annual bike ride.
Although we talked about, do you remember the last time? So when we did the last 4th of July ride, we said we should ride 100 miles out to Cincinnati, stay a whole day, dig around,
What were we thinking?
and then do the bike ride back.
I
And
can't
make it
do
a bigger
that.
endeavor.
I can't do that because of my family's.
God damn it, Lauren!
I know I ruined it. I can go on the 4th of July and the 5th. But you want to do back-to-back centuries?
That's what we. I'm not saying that we have to do that. I'm saying that's what we talked about before.
All right, well then we have got to do it because we're not pussies.
Ah.
We're not testicles.
We're not testicles.
And
We are pussies. That's why we need to do it.
That's right. So I have. If anybody has a race on July 17th, I'm there. I'm open for that day.
I bet there's an adventure race we could find.
Okay, we'll do an adventure race then, and then the following weekend we're going to the She Ventures camp in Tennessee. Could not be more stoked for an all-women's outdoor camp where we'll be hiking,
Rubbing tits and
climbing,
licking faces.
rubbing tits, licking faces, riding mountain bikes, eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, pooping in the lawn.
Rock hard pussies.
We're gonna convince them that is the new title.
I can't wait to match up vibes with other people where I'm just going to be like calibrating, and then I'm going to be like, nope, doing whatever I felt like doing.
Right? I'm gone to the lake for a lot of August. I don't know why we're telling all of my listeners where I'll be all
I
summer.
said race calendar, but that's okay.
Yeah.
What's in the lake in August? Just general
family stuff.
Fam time. All right.
And then, September is always...
Oh, September is wild.
So we have Adventure Race Nationals
It's wild.
on the 10th, 11th,
Always
12th.
wild.
And then we have BFC.
The following weekend, I feel like we need to talk. We don't have to talk about this, but like, I'm already looking forward to having these like notches in my belt because, several years ago, you and I did the Barkley Fall Classic back-to-back weekends with Not Your Mama's.
No
100.
one will ever understand this. It's like entering the Bermuda Triangle and coming out alive.
Within 8 days, what did we calculate that we'd done in gain? It was something crazy. It was like 20,000 feet of gain.
It was over 20,000 feet of gain.
Over the course of 8 days. I'm super proud of that.
I barely remember it.
We're fucking idiots, but I'm super proud of that. So
Yep.
I'm really stoked about the idea of doing, USARA Nationals in Wisconsin, and the following weekend, the Barkley Fall Classic.
I mean, I did that in 2019.
In 2019, it was it flipped?
Flipped.
It was flipped. So I do think that makes it a little difference.
It's hard.
It's going to be wild. It's either going to be great or it's going to be great.
Okie dokie. Well, so then October, I guess, is where I'll run my 100. Just kidding.
You could maybe do one in July. I don't know.
No. I wouldn't be ready in July.
Oh, and actually, you already have your 100 planned and you just forgot about it.
What is it?
Arrowhead 135.
Oh, I was going to tell you, we're definitely doing that. But I don't know if we can get in because I think that last year so many people are going to have to roll over that it's going to be full.
That's like, I'll be honest, like, so I've kept up my tickets every year for Western states, and I don't think I'm going to maintain that anymore because it's just not that appealing. And with COVID, it's rolled out so many years. It's
I know.
the same thing with Hard Rock.
So
and
hard.
Even Angeles Crest 100.
There's just like backlogs.
Yeah, like Andy wants to run Angeles Crest 100 again, and he will not even be able to apply until 2023?
That sucks.
Because it's not going to be held this year because they had a year where they couldn't do it because of wildfires.
Yeah,
and they had a year they couldn't do it because of COVID.
Just push back. Also, I don't think I can afford a carbon sled in the next year.
Well, it won't have to be in the next year because technically it'll be in 2022.
I can't afford a carbon sled between now and January of next year.
All right, so anybody out there who can
wants
help
to donate
support Lauren and I in doing Arrowhead 135 in early 2022.
We want to be there. We want to barf the shit out of it. We will.
Oh, we should apply for the Trail Sisters Adventure Grant for Arrowhead 135
That's
as well.
what we should do if it is open to registrants. Yeah. That's the ticket. We figured it out.
Because think about this. This is one of those things where I'm like, well, we could push out Arrowhead 135 another year.
No, we shouldn't.
No, we should do everything as soon as we can.
Because we want to sharpen our titties for other potential terrifying endeavors. Like Showblobe.
Oh, yeah. There's just lots of things that I want to just get, like, wild about.
I know. I think that requires training, so I've got to remember how to do that. Because lately I've been running a mile a day and being like, I'm going to go watch cartoons.
Yeah, I've been going, like, every other day. So, yeah, we definitely have to
I've been
incorporate
phoning
that
it in.
bloodthirsty level.
It'll come to us. But in the meantime, we'll be gentle with ourselves.
This has been such a mishmash potluck of an episode, so thanks for hanging with us.
I feel like we've found some value here.
Absolutely. So, in our next episode, we'll be talking more about Two Rivers prep because we have so many fun Rogue Unknown things, like...
How do we strap a pack raft to our body? No one knows.
Don't
do
know.
we duct tape it to Lauren's middle?
Don't know.
I'm Lauren.
You are Lauren.
Thanks, Champagne.
I got banged into a hole
And then I got banged back out of it. Thanks, Champagne. My Shandon.
Until next time.
We are Barf Barf!
Thank you.